Good morning, Oklahoma, and welcome to Cow-Calf Corner. Our topic this week is teat and udder conformation in beef cattle. And teat and udder conformation, we seldom have to think about it unless there's a problem, but it is a very economically important trait in cow-calf production. Substandard teat and udder conformation can lead to a lot of problems. It can be a drain on profitability. It requires physical labor to actually milk out a quarter, to try to save the quarter, help a baby calf nurse, long-term problems. It impacts cow longevity in a negative way, increases the likelihood we're going to have sick calves, reduces weaning weights in calves. Overall, it can be a real problem. The nice thing about teat and udder conformation, like I say, if we're not having to deal with issues, that's a good sign. But if we are, it is a moderately heritable trait. Think of it about along the same lines as traits like weaning weight and yearling weight. Improvement can be made through selection if we apply selection pressure. And we do have some tools available and some things that we can use in order to improve it. First thing, from the cow side, it is critical that we evaluate teat and udder conformation as soon as a calf is born, no more than 24 hours after a calf is born. That is literally the moment of truth. That's when we've got to have good teat and udder conformation to permit those calves to get the most important meal of their life, that first nursing of colostrum, and getting in an adequate quantity. And so, if we've got cows and a moderately heritable trait and we're seeing problems with teat and udder conformation there, we don't want to keep replacement heifers out of those particular cows. A lot easier to evaluate that in the cow herd than it is to try to be taking into account in weaned heifer calves or yearlings when we're actually selecting those replacements. The other thing that's nice about this is we can address it through sire selection. The American Angus Association in the past year has came out with teat and udder score EPDs. Now, they're based on the chart that you see on screen right now. This is also a chart that we can use in commercial cow-calf production to keep records and evaluate teat and udder conformation. But these records, or this chart, is actually used by Angus breeders to submit data within contemporary groups and using scores of 1 through 9, where 9 are our best scores, indicating the most refined teats and the tightest udder suspension. Basically, a higher EPD score for either of these traits reflects the direction we want to go if we've got substandard teat and udder conformation in our cow herd presently. Hope this helps, and as always, thanks for joining us on Cow-Calf Corner this week.